And this final poem has a quote in it that includes a homophone, and I'm pretty sure I took it as the wrong way when I based the poem on it. It's the word lead or lead, and my guess is because it was actually in someone's suicide note, it was probably lead, but I read it as lead. And so I feel like in the poem I do acknowledge it's a homophone, but then I just, keep going on my own little way, my own merry way with it. So this is my final poem. It's a little bit longer, so hopefully you guys can stick with me, and I haven't been too self-indulgent. This is the first time I've read sort of some of my longer poems, and so hopefully that hasn't been painful. This is called Namaste, Bitches. And if anybody knows Logan Bearden, he came up with that title. So it was all built around Logan's title. Corpses don't giggle, ladies. I want to say in my best Miss Jean Brodie to the co-eds tittering in Shavasana, but the corrective is sometimes more disruptive than the disruption, like bringing Asian ladybugs in to control aphids or planting Tree of Heavens to prevent erosion. I wasn't up on all this 20 years ago, teaching 8th grade when born from military school Alex was overtaken by the spirit of hormonia, patron saint of adolescence, often invoked in shopping malls, PG-13 movies, and all school assemblies, making him poke the blonde in front of him while she tried to listen to Mr. Fricks, the assistant vice principal, elucidate the 3 C's, cleanliness, courtesy, and kindness, causing me to hiss, "That's enough of that," to which the whole room turned from their buzzword-induced comas to see the mean old teacher, a moment I still replay when I want to remind myself not to be such a bitch, which is often. It's hard not to be in this world of irritating and irrational things, such as racism, corporate colonialism, and jeggings. Often, I feel like shock art punk rocker turned animal sanctuaryist turned suicide, Wendy O. Williams, when she said, "For me, much of the world makes no sense. That place where I have never hurt and never been hurt seems so inviting. But other days, I want to reach down into my pelvic floor, Moula Banda, and agree with French wit and revolutionary rabble-rouser Nicolas Sebastian Chamfort, who wrote, 'The heart must either break or turn to lead.' And, Lord love the homophone, I choose to come out swinging, a wild-souled cephalopod like the Christ-like graffiti of a 2-armed octopus drawn on the bathroom stall of a roadhouse dive. 'Drunk octopus wants to fight you,' the artist wrote, to which someone responded, 'If you ain't got no one to hate on me.' Thank you, Savior Cephalopod. Tip the tables of the money changers and absolve my hate so that I will no longer store it in a gland on my elbow like the nearly extinct, thanks to the forest burnings of the Vietnam War, pygmy slow loris does. Where it's ready when I sneak up on my prey in their sleep, whispering, 'That's enough of that.' The first victim always the closest, like in Megashark versus Giant Octopus, when the megalodon, awakened from a million-year sleep, noms the crap out of the nuclear sub who woke him before going after a 747, and, yes, the Golden Gate Bridge, favorite site of malcontents ready to take the dive into the unknown, which seems just as symbolic as when the U.S. Navy took the retired supercarrier USS America into the Atlantic and pummeled it for 4 weeks as part of troop training. It's been said that depression is anger turned inward. I'm ready to stop target practicing on myself. I want to find my inner megashark to troll the oceans for jerks and scumbags and people who, as Scottish psychologist Artie Lang says, do violence in the name of love. Instead of fighting Giant Octopus, we will team up and form the Justice League of Bitches, making this world a safer place to raise our spawn with a Langian mantra of, it is of fundamental importance not to make the positivist mistake of assuming that because a group's members are in formation, this means that they're necessarily on course, which we will abbreviate as, if everyone jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, would you? Our #1 tactic to accept others for who they are, including our scaly prehistoric lugubrious selves. But since that's a bit out of my reach, for now I'll start with you, big-breasted lovely with the freakishly long appendages who always gets the grab in Gomukhasana arms, with your little Barbie twin who told my husband that he had the most beautiful yogic squat. Maybe in another million years I'll awaken to forgiving my inner bitch. But for now, I'll just make the shape. Thank you for listening tonight.